Dạ rồi, xong rồi. Con like xong rồi đấy. Rồi cả nhà mình đổi background.
Dạ đúng rồi. Cái này đúng rồi đó.
Dạ.
Dạ cô anh dẫn đoàn đi cô anh.
Dạ, cô đổi background đi cô. Cô Tố Trinh ơi, cô Tố Trinh đổi
Em
background đi cô. Alo, cô Tố Trinh.
Dạ em đây cô.
Dạ, cô đổi background đi cô. Cô có tiện mở không? Cô có tiện mở cam không?
Dạ em xin phép cô, em xin phép lên các cam ạ. Dạ.
Dạ, biết ơn cô.
Dạ cảm ơn cô ạ.
Dạ rồi. Hello everyone. Today we raising we are in English raising with from side 13 and the speed is 12. The lesson 1, the formula of the source of life. The number 2 is the structure of human being, and number 3 is the triangle of reality. Now we are on track. I'm ready.
We are on track. We are ready. Let's go.
Yes, I'm on track. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go.
Lesson 1.
Lesson 1, the formula of the source of life. Currently, our society is being governed by the three perspectives. The first perspective, a scientific perspective. The second is the religious and belief perspective. And the third is the perspective of morality or principle. Regardless of what we live in the world, we are currently being influenced by three perspectives. And one of the laws that influence us greatly is the laws of cause and effect and the laws of causal conditions or interaction. If we ever rinse our current life, is our current result simply the outcomes of the sequential us? What is a formula? What's the formula for the source of life? What is the formula? Let's fire the formula for desired outcome. Good crop plus favorable condition is desired outcome. Therefore, if you want to create the desired future, shouldn't we focus on creating the good course right in the present moment? This knowledge, religious and belief science and morality principle all lead to the one state. We need to understand the root cause of a person's life through these three perspectives to be considered to have a thorough understanding and the core of when standing under the science perspective. Why do we have this result today is standing under the religious and belief perspective? Why do I have this result today? If standing under the perspective of morality or principle, why do I have this result today? First, let's thoroughly understand the core from the scientific perspective and describe the source of life of a person, religion, belief, and morality principle science. The formula of the source of life, we take a piece of paper and write down the good result at the bottom and circle it. Then draw an arrow leading to the result, and we have to choose the one word and directly represent the result of our life life today that affects our life result it would be joy. Express give us the message that joy directly affects the result of our life today. But let's reflect, is it true that the chain of choices we made in the past determine the result of our life today? When we reflect, we often grant ourselves to the right and choose the good thing in life. However, if it comes to unpleasant things, that tendency of inner self is to attribute the choice to others. If we contemplate, even the visible and undesirable situations in life are always to our own choices, and will understand the source of life originates from ourselves. Therefore, the source of life originates from me, but it's not my fault. And what is not my fault is because we didn't know any better, and our awareness has been better. It would not make that joy at that time. Our awareness only at the level that lasts to joy. Therefore, the joy may seem at the moment was correct. Let's lead them famous saying, if you want to change circumstances, change your personality. That's reason the first selection come today. However, we do not know what kinds of personality is suitable for the good outcome, and focus on changing personality is not that the root core. It's because no specific personality trait dictate the person life will be good. Researchers studying wealthy people found that a person be perfect anyway, and another is different way and have different personality. Therefore, any personality can personality lead to wealth, and any personal also lead property. Ultimately, it's the different they change different they would not know of research. Focusing on changing personality is not the root core, and the result is still repeat. And if you don't change the personality, if you don't change the result, and that focus on changing personality does not work because it isn't the root core. The expert informed that a person habit render their personality of this realization. They start to assert the focus on changing habit. Good habit leads to good personality, resulted in good joy, and the same time discourage changing the habit, changes strategies, changes personality, changes result. However, realize the rules of and investigate further that a person action determine their habits. And if they have just a good action to lead a good habit, and good habit is a good personality, and good personality will lead a good family, and the good life results following the good choice manage the action, but they declare that they repeat in all patterns. And change the personality is difficult. They succeed to change an action and focus on changing action does not last. Eventually, experts will argue that if the answer that a person thought determine their action, we tell that a good thought will reflect the good action, and good action will result in good habits. Good habits lead to good personalities and lead the result choice. And we say that so the short with an action, show an action with a habit, and show a habit shape a personality, and show personality gradually. The insight would focus on how people would cultivate a good mindset and good thoughts. However, through deeper research over time, people discover that even they try to control their social words repeatedly immersed in the life, those the present in mind and the eventual investigate the determine the person's thought. If focusing on thoughts, a person continues to repeat negative thoughts in mind. The question raises what shape a person's thoughts and how the motor it carried out. That's the belief and the state that thoughts belief. Essentially, humans always hold the belief about something. This is belief can count their desire and aligns with their desire. This is also known as the positive and negative belief. For example, someone say, I keep trying to lose weight, but I can't lose anyone. I'm so discouraged. I keep trying, but it does not work normally. Our thinking as a system would like a belief in the ability and lose weight. However, the truth is that a person holds the belief that they are very fast, they will never be able to become thin. What belief every person holds and the belief result in from actually that is because the belief directly affect the judges, and whatever belief is held, the result manifests is that all beliefs if we cannot do something and the result we cannot do it. Human beliefs does not have a 99% belief is 100% conviction that the core belief in this one right is one the right action that belief. Whether it aligns with God's goal or wins with desire. If human know the knowledge would be wonderful and someone believe I'm not beautiful no matter what I do, I'm not beautiful, the right in that the person believes they are roughly the nothing is make the beautiful and the result and commit to no job as a belief that they are ugly person, getting a no doubt and which sometimes results as a damage. And conversely, a person who already believes they are beautiful and they get a positive limit into the wrong people who believe that they are happy become happier and they get married. Conversely, they call the belief they are miserable. Wherever we marry, we are remain miserable. There is a story about a woman and whose husband are launching a book and they were a famous self-development trainer. But the author, instead of interviewing him, play a top trick and turn his wife, asking your husband is very famous development trainer. He had helped many people to change their life and become happier, but honestly has brought her message to you. The woman answered immediately, no. Everyone roused alarm, wondering, and she said that if you would damage her husband's reputation, another deposit based on asking, so your husband tried brought you a happy life result if said no, and another person skillfully asked a more open-ended question, and the woman cried and replied, how can a man bring happiness to a woman, and a woman must have happiness on her own, and only can I have been a married here doesn't bring happiness. And we don't believe our husband and joy love us and actually demand the love. And what is the result outcome? People do not love because internally we lack that belief and we don't see the result externally. Therefore, we are need to change the internal belief system to change the result. Here, the concept we need to grasp in our inner belief versus the consciousness desire. For example, if when a woman and a man get married, they express the marriage of harmonious happiness, and deep down they root inner belief that a good, harmonious, and happy marriage. As a consciousness desire for the harmonious and happy marriage, but if they inner belief contrasting the desire, and the result will inner belief are triumph over the conscious desire. In the inner beliefs and the consciousness desire unify, life become wonderful and consciousness desire will be able to think. For example, a happy marriage, success in work, and good relationship with people and others which was the outcome. If the consciousness desire unify with inner belief, human transaction between thought and belief. This is a crucial way of the faith, and persons and inner subconscious often conflict to each other. Ultimately, the inner self, human is trying to conscious mindset and change the inner self in such favor of the light and growth in touch with the very scientific perspective concerns inner belief what determines the results. Therefore, they must change the belief exercise and change the life. Merely thinking about the external will change the result. However, belief is not the root cause. The change belief doesn't surprise. We all know why. The trust with certain person and raise a question. What determines a person belief in there is a mental images and the seat of mental images. It determines the belief and the state mental images in our mind determine our beliefs will determine the results of our life. The mental image. Let's all often the small exercise chosen to people closest to us, to people and feel most familiar with them, but without thinking, write their name particularly on the roadside and distance the truth, right words and error the mental images feel and emotion around that person. We can stop and do exercise here and then continue reading. Before we have a system mental images in our head, it will take the result such of a life externally. We see the father as an somebody eventual, but sometimes the people might not see eventually. They might see the trick and get the advantage. We are always observed that the drive to capacity and the seed mental image we hold the final is most when we am walking, we may say, look at that lazy latitude. The results of eternal life are projected from the seeds of mental images of our mind, the story of a pain. Let's follow the story from pleasure micros emerges. We are holding an object we visually choose, perhaps a pen or writing tool, and consider another creature in every intelligent animal living in our heart or puppy. When we see the ball, the pen, a writer, instrument because it gives it to a writer, and when the puppy encounter this object, we choose on it. The puppy action is choose make the thing that the puppy perceives this object, and the one on a try which is right is true if the puppy perceives it as a pen is useless to write. Then the puppy perceives it as a ground and a joy, and we perceive it as a pen and to write instrument was correct. Now let's put that object in the room, and no one is there. Neither us nor the puppy is the one thing here, and the object is that nothing after, and it is not that it doesn't exist before that is no subject perceive it, and no subject connects it, and the subject feeling it. At the moment, it is nothing. Being nothing does not mean it doesn't exist. All things have the nature of emptiness. All things have nature of emptiness potentiality. It is nothing when there is no subject perceived. So what is the create and the subject that we connect is it, and the subject perceive it. Now we step in and we look at the subject. At that moment, it is a pen, but this does that is perceived it as a toy and a grown. So we have the puppy step in the same time. For us, it is a pet, and for the puppy, it is a bone. And a special question arises: what determines the nature and that object? It is determined by the external nature of external, and it reflects from within earth, within us, to the outside, to the outside, and find that the nature of this object is determined by the what is within us, and the seeds of mental images in our mind, and we check the object is the seeds of mental images in our mind project towards the manifest reality. Although we said the brother is the potential person, essentially the brother is neither potential or anyone, but because we have mental image and plan to work out what our father being mental relation, and gambling is based on cognition of him because of all the six mental images of our father, and we persisted that way the mental image of a person determined externally, and therefore we perceive based on the mental image we hold. And if we want to change the external world and another word, if we want to change the destination according to the scientific perspective, changing the mental image changes destiny, changing the mental image changes destiny, changing the mental image changes destiny. The synergy of a person's psychology is very existing among the people, and the person does not positive mental images we hold in the one and the negative image we manifest. This is miraculous phenomena of the principle of life and darkness, the principle of life. Take the closer we live to someone, we don't unlock the positive image we have them. We hold the unpleasant image we unlock with our life. That is why when the first meet someone with the danger, we hold positive message with each other. As we learn together, we feel the positive and the unpleasant image will manifest. And undesirable and important society relationship is the short my neighbor Y is better, my neighbor Y is better than me, and someone else husband better, and my husband is not good. And the person wife
whose wives are
before
beautiful,
he
other
realized
people's
what
wives
and
are
why
ugly.
because
Why?
we
Because we
get
only
a
have
neighbor
the
husband
neighbor's
and what
husband or
bravely
wife,
and this
and
is a
then we see the
beautiful
beautiful
image.
image. But
Our
our
husband,
husband
why
or
is
wife
around
is
we at the
around all
same
the
time
time.
because we don't
Because
know
we
how
don't know
to
how to
unlock
use
a
the
positive
positive
image.
images. We see
We
the
see
poor
the
images.
poor
We need to change
images,
the image
and the
toward
only need to change
the
the image
direction we
toward the
desire to
direction of
orient
this
our
we
image toward
desire
what
and
we want.
origins
We hold
and
good and
orange
beautiful
the image
images
to
and
work and we
beliefs, and we
program and we hold the good
automatically
and
change,
beautiful
and the
images
result
and
will
belief
change
system will
in an instant.
automatically change and the
Therefore,
result
if a
change in
person
an
can
instant.
maintain beautiful images
Therefore,
of
a person can
oneself,
maintain
so
this good of
positive
image
images
love and
will
especially
change our
positive
entire
image
face
a
condition
person
regarding
changes
people.
and now
Maintaining a
face
good
the
image
change
in our
we
health,
effective
maintaining a good
maintaining
image
a
of
good
close
image of here,
relationship,
maintaining a good
maintaining a good
image in
image of
society
ourselves and our
relationship,
inner self,
and
maintaining
maintaining
a good
image
image of
outside and inner
finances,
self, maintaining a
changing the
good
mental
image
image
in our
changes with
finance, changing
going
the mental
changing
image
one's
changes that
organization
we
according
need
to
to
different
have
perspectives.
the simple
The sources
lesson
lie
according to
originating
the
and the mental
scientific
images
perspectives,
begin.
the sort of origin,
You only need to
mental myth
remember
in
one
mind,
thing.
and we
The
need to
seeds of
remember
mental
one
images
thing.
in our
The
mind
seeds of
determine the
mental myth
result of
in our
our
mind
understanding.
determine the
Mixture
results of
from
our
now
mind
saying,
thinking.
if
These
one
seeds
who
are
pronounces
directly in
comprehensive
each one to
begin with
ground.
the
In
result,
every
every matter
matter we
should begin
begin
with the
with the
result.
result. Every
Because the
matter
quickest way to achieve
begin
anything we
should
are about
begin
to do
with
is
the result
start
because
from the
it's
result.
specific
For
way to
example,
achieve
why
and
is
the
it
thing
to
we're about
so
to do
difficult
is
for
the
a
start
person
from the
married to
result. For
marry?
example,
Because we didn't
why
start the
is it
marriage by
difficult
defining the
for
result
the person
of
met
the
with the
marriage.
happiness
The
because
result we
we
have
said there is the defendant
often
result
based
of
on
happiness when
observing
we have
those
based
around
on
us.
the
Our minds
outlasting
hold the image
or else
of
the
the
mind
marriage
of
result. So
opinions
when
and
we
met
start, we
marriages
already had
result
that
starts
result.
in
The woman
result
and
a
the girl
person
master.
minds
And
mental
self-made
myth a
son, the
person
son is
mind is
person
the
minds, the
possess
mental myth, and the
external
person minds is
reality.
the result of
When this
external
destination
reality.
is seen,
When
there
the
is no need
destination
to
is
rush,
seen, there
and
is no need to rush.
the
If the
destination
destination is
is
unseen,
unseen
why
by
rush?
rush.
When
When
we start
that
with the result,
with
our
the
journey
result of our journey
automatically changes. We
automatically
start with
changes is
knowing
like
where we
knowing
are going,
where
what
we are going,
means
and
of
no matter
transport we can
means
get
of
there.
transport
But
we
if we
get
don't
there.
know
But
where
if we
our
don't know whether
destination
our
is, so
destination is
we
in
are
the
with the
equivalent
most
or most of
free
modern
intention to lose
facilities, we cannot
destination.
take the
Thus, every
destination.
matter should
And
begin with the
every matter
result. The
should begin
result
with
is
the
from
result. The
our
result is
mental
formed
images in our
from the
mind.
mental
Therefore,
images
simply
in our
changing the
mind.
mental
Therefore,
image
simply changing the
when the
mental
image
image
is clear,
changes
our mind
destiny.
become clearer.
When the
Hence, every
image is
matter
clear,
begins
our
with the
lives
result.
become
So
clearer.
it
It
means
is
that
every
according to
matter
the
begin
scientific
with the result,
perspective,
and we can conclude
success
that according to the
success of mental
scientific
images
perspective, at
determine
that
the result
moment,
of
the
our
system of
life.
mental
The
images in
question
our
is
mind
starting
determine the
from the
results of
mental
our
image
life.
in our
And
mind,
the question
start
is what
because
determines the
those
mental image
images
in
will
our mind?
open us
This
new
because the
opportunities.
image
What
we
we
hear
say
spontaneously in our
resonating
heads and
in
what
our
we
mind.
say,
It
see,
is
hear, and
subconsciously
know
what we hear, see,
determine
say,
our mental image
what
in our
we hear, what
mind.
we see,
It
what
is
we say, and what we
precisely
mean.
what
What
hear,
that
what we see,
determines
what we
our
say,
mental
and what we
images
know
and what
that
our
determine
feelings
our
with
mental
and based
images. And
upon
what
that
we are
believing
struggling with
that
our
the
opinion
state
is
in order
knowing
to
that
the
is
person.
detrimental
The
to
knowing
the
of the
future.
negative
Personally, the knowing
very
regarding
matter
our
to the
is
mental images.
highly
Because of
detrimental to
images
the
are
mental
negative, the
image we
knowing of
have.
them
Most
entire education
image of
because the
negative,
images
both the known
that are
regarding
not
child
very
education
positive.
give us images that is
The
not
knowing about this
positive.
life, knowing about
The
people on this
knowing
life
about this life,
is the
the knowing
advantages
about
and
people
images
give
of
a
people. The knowing we have
disadvantageous
behavior of people
image of people.
is
The
like
knowing we heard
nothing will
about career
easily
business
digest.
and life make things
Especially our knowing
increasingly
we have
advanced
that
and
life
everything we
makes
know
easier
about
from
how the
birth until
knowing
now.
has in
Because
one from
according
the
to the
first until
scientific
now
perspective,
because
we say
according to the
about the scientific
scientific
purpose
perspective
the
we
fundamental
cannot say
when we are
relatively
born
robust and from
what we
moment
know,
one
what we
until
know, what we
now
see,
when
what we say,
what
and
we
what we
know, what
hear,
we
it
see, what we
influences our
say, what
mental
we hear
images.
influence
It
our
lives
mental
to
images.
progress our
And we will live
image.
or try live
Where
continuously
every
this while or less spend
to
people and
150
between
and
120
years
and
old,
160 years we all feel
between 60
old and
years
this
old,
crack
our
is a
bodies
60-year-old.
we are
And what we
only
still
youth.
alive
What we
if
know
we are
about health,
only
what we
youth
know
and
about
what
health,
about
what we
her,
see
what
about
we
health,
hear
and what
about
we
health,
say
what
about
we
health,
say about here, what we say about Hill is different from those who live in the village and village, while the lifespan is 60 or 70 years, and let's say people around 60 or years old cross winding down, and if we are 60 then Woodton will feel like we were about to go to close death and receive leanness while we raise money and conclude that around 1 million US poor and less than 24 village and report village today income was to only raise million our big bill. And what we get to say and we determine the mental villages that is the the upper fruit and high estate are on average 20 minutes 130 million that would have filled with the income in 200 million down wonderful, right? And you just start when one star appear in the sky in the future, a constellation Earth that will appear. Our society, when someone observes something wonderful and excel, it will lead to the chain of star emerging. And people you see, say, and know will gradually change accordingly, and we will change the image of our society. At the same time, achieving a people does similar than reality in the future. One word says that comprehension role is simple than property reality. What people see, say, and know if trained as a society understand, undergo the message shape and the few people understanding that society will understand lies because the her seen spoken now is consciously changed. Is it was the penny story about teacher study about having intelligent monkey? The monkey walked with potato and scientific give the street potato that put berries and sand and of the reaction. The monkey lied about berries and unpleasant and they still had to eat. One beautiful day, the female monkey accident drops with potato in the water begins. And why do these dishes and potato she taught her brother mother briefly, but actually but were surrounding the scientific monkey and what is the matter. When the harmless monkey reads something short by happen, that the monkey is not in contact with any other monkey and has never been taught how to potato and when give a potato she honestly to try the water and wash it of the feeding. And yes, monkey that also know how to what the potato a person like, and so she consciously transform when we change what we hear, see, say, and know, and change the mental image of our future. If the alignment of condition will have other changes the future as well. Therefore, when living in a family where that's determine the transform of ourselves first, and over time as mental needs change regarding ourselves and thought about me, a family, of people, but automatic change too. And that's no need to seek change in others, thus focus on changing ourselves. This means changing our mental needs is about ourselves. We are loved one, the means changing our knowing about ourselves, knowing about humanities, and knowing about the laws of both understood and results, how to change the mental needs and subconsciously and to select the formula to change the mental needs and apply controls what you hear and see and change what you say and know. And this changes destiny, preserving the knowing and changes the saying and control hearing, saying gradual changing the mental image changes destiny. Yes, sir.
Say is control history and say is gradual changing destiny.
Dạ, rồi cô để 11 đi cô để 11 đi cho mình
này
chạy.
hình như có gắn dòng lại phải không cô?
Dạ đúng rồi, cho nên mình để 11 đi cô. Mình để 11 đi, mình chạy cho nó ngon. Dạ rồi. Dạ tiếp tục đi cô ha. 25 rồi.
Luôn hả? Con bấm tiếp luôn khỏi có đặt lại hả?
Dạ, mình cứ tạo khỏi đi, mình đọc luôn. Cho nó cộng luôn cô.
Có cần uống miếng nước không? Vậy rồi, tiếp tục.
Yeah. Lesson through the structure of human being. The structure of human beings, one important concept, the important knowledge about the human structure. The knowledge regarding the human structure is considered one of the very important frame of reference in life. The knowledge explains the rules or result of life from the religious perspective. That is a kind of understanding that helps people open awaken the wisdom, intellect. It's open the door of the views of human life and explain the question of the human life. The significance of realizing the human structure. When awareness of the human structure is gained, we will understand and help people find the true nature and facilitating the reception of true nature within themselves, understanding the static human nature with desire and thought concept as the turquoise
Understand
of
the
the
three
human
forms of
nature,
virtue, merit,
representing the
sin, and
human
blessing.
ego,
Understand
understanding the
karma,
emptiness
knowledge, karma,
nature of
condition,
the inner
karma,
being,
and result
understanding
karma.
the three frames of virtue, merits, and blessing.
Understand that God's
Understand the
master
total karma,
space and
knowing the
time.
total karma,
Understand that the
connection
inner
karma, and
awareness
result
perception
karma. Understand the
determines
correct
the
matter,
electromagnetic
space, and
vibration
time.
state of the
Understand
inner
the
being,
inner awareness perception, and
which
determine the
subsequently determines
electromagnetic
the energy
vibration state
vibration
of
state.
the inner being, and which subsequently determine the energy
Energy
vibration
vibration
frequencies,
frequency and
and
finally
finally
determines
determine the experience
appearance
of
of the
the view
view
of
of human
human
life,
life, world view, and cosmic view. Change the
cause in the
course
past
in
after
the
the effect
course in the
result in
past,
the present and
alter the effect
stimulate a
result
good
in world
effect
reference, or
result for the future.
stimulate a good effects
Introducing
result for the
introduction
future.
to the
The
human structure.
interaction for the
Our
human
current life
structure,
is a
our
result
current life
created
is
by the cause in the
created
past. Our
by the
present
core
is cause in life
across
in
our
the
present,
future.
and the cross
Changing
in
the
life
present means
structure.
using the
Changing
pattern
the
create
present means
an
change the
effective
course
result
that
for the
we will
future.
create
If we
the
want the desired
effects and
future,
the
we must
rest for
change
the
the
future.
cause in the
If we want
present.
to desire the future, we
Only
must
when a
change the
person
core in
knows
the
where the
present.
root of
Only
their life
when a person
originates can they
know
change
what
the
the
cause
results of
and
our
thus
life
change the effect
origins when we
result.
change the
Through the
course,
three perspective
and
principle
thus
in
change the
nature,
effect
belief,
results through
and
the
science,
three
along with the
perspective
three
of
kinds of
three
reflex
separate
of the
doctrine,
principle of
reason, belief,
reality, the
and
human structure and
science,
problem of
along
the
with
root of
three
life
frame
can
of
fully
reference,
understand where the
framework
root
of
of human
reality,
life
the
originates,
human structure, and the
what's
formula
the
of the
cause
social
and
life. We
effect,
can fully
and how to create
understand
the
what the
effect
rules of
result. From
cumuli
this
originates,
understanding, people will
including the
know how
verb
to create the good
combined to
causes
create
and
the
favorable
effect and result.
conditions we
From this
desire effect
understanding,
result in
people
life.
will know
The
how to
human structure
create
is
good
one of
cause and
these three
favorable
important frames of reference.
connection
Each frame
to
of
reap
reference is used
desirable,
from the
a
perspective of
desirable
religion,
effect or
belief,
results
and
in life.
tendency,
This
and
structure, human
utilizing the
structure, with
knowledge
one
of
of these three
Buddhism to
important
understand the
frame
human
of
structure
reference.
and thereby
That frame
finding
of
the root
reference is
origin of
viewed from the
cause of
perspective
human
of
life according
religious
to
and
the
belief,
this view.
utilizing the
The true
knowledge of
nature.
Buddhism to understand the
What is
human
the true
structure,
nature? The true
and
nature
thereby
is what
finding
which
the
does
rules
not
or
change
result or
across
course
space and
of
time.
human
Everything that
life
changes is no
according
longer the
to
true
this
nature.
view.
In our daily
The
lives,
true
everything is
nature.
not the true
What is the
nature
true
because it
nature? The true
changes over
nature is
time.
that which does not change
Circumstances,
across space and time.
conditions,
Anything
therefore,
that changes
the
is no
human being
longer
which
the
changes
true
every day.
nature. In our
Due
daily
to
life,
these natural
everything
things,
is
we
not
can never
the
achieve
true nature because
decentralizing
it
something
changes
that
over
is
time,
real and
such as how
exists
this
fully,
car,
but it is not the
emotion,
true
and love.
nature.
Even the
According to
human
the
body,
story,
which
the
changes every
demons
day. If
conspire
we
to hide
ignore
the true
these
nature
changing
deep inside
things, we can never achieve peace and joy.
humanity, believing that
This
the
is
most
something that
dangerous
is a
place
real
is
and
the
exists
best
a
place.
true, but is not the
As a
true
result, the
nature.
people no
According to the
longer cling
story,
to the
the
nature,
demon
the true
conspire
nature
to
within
hide a true
themselves,
nature
but mainly
deep
cling to
inside
external things,
humanity,
so they
because that
cannot
the
achieve peace
most
and joy.
dangerous
Only those
place
with
in
true
is the sacred place. As the result, people
who
no
find the true
longer
nature
fling
is
the true
within
nature
themselves, who
within
find the true
themselves, but
nature
merely
within ourselves,
cling
we
to
approach
external
peace and
things
joy,
that
knowing
they
that
cannot
unity
achieve
and
peace and
structure
joy.
is
And
fusion and
though
highly
with
valuable
great
knowledge of
destiny,
human
we
nature.
can find the true
Unity.
nature within themselves,
Understanding
and
the
we can't
human
find true
structure
nature
means
within
understanding both
ourselves,
the
and will uproot peace
nature
and
with
joy.
both
Knowing the
items and
human
truly
structure
structure.
and fosters in healthy value knowledge of humanity.
Through the lens of
Understanding
vision
the
and belief,
human
the moral
structure
knowledge with
means
the Buddhist
understanding
understanding,
oneself and finding the
of
true
human
nature
structure,
within ourselves. We attain peace
components of the
and
human
joy. And
structure. The
since
human structure
humanity
has four
structure
parts, each
views through
part
the lens of
categorized
reasons
by
and belief
different
and
atomic
moral knowledge from
energy,
Buddhism,
used
and
by
explain it.
controlled
Consider
science
the
and
human
Buddhism.
structure. The human structure
In
has
terms
four
of the
parts.
structure
Each
of
part are
government itself, it is the terminology
categorized by
of
different
combination
terminologies
of
used
principle
by
based on
common for science
place
and
the body.
Buddhism.
However,
Its
it's
term structure of
that
human
by
soul,
this
there is a
combination created the
terminology
body
of the
consisting of hot water,
eight
air, fire, and
combination.
electromagnetism.
Typically, the
When
four great
consider the whole person,
combination
there are
is said
also
to
the
create
heart,
the
mind,
body.
nature, and
However,
emotions. Thus, the
intrinsically,
body
the
is
five
formed by
great
8
combination
elements:
cleave to
heart,
the
mind,
body,
nature, emotion, earth,
consisting of the earth,
water, air,
water,
fire,
air,
and
fire, and
electromagnetism.
electromagnetism.
Refer to
When
as the 8
considering the
degrees
whole person,
combination.
there are
Supposing
also
the
the part,
divide
mind, nature, and
currently
emotion. Thus, the body is
we
formed
find the
by
human
eight
structure
elements:
is should
heart,
be
mind, nature, emotion, earth, water, air, fire, and electromagnetism. Preventing as the eighth great combination to correctify the human nature, it should be the ninth great combination exists because once
Nhân
we
viên
electromagnetism of light must be included, and meaning electromagnetism is divided into two from electromagnetic of light energy that and electromagnetism, proving the nitrate combination is representing to the body without a thought, mind, nature, and emotion. This is right combination of water, air, fire, and electromagnetism. Which by to terminology, the human structure is consistently defined as follows. The human structure consists of the true nature, the distinct human nature, the layer of emotion, and the layer of four element body. Specifically, the true nature is includes the extension to see and attention to hear, the intention to say and the attention to know, surrounded by electromagnetism of light. The 16 human nature consists of reception, short perception, action, external processing, consciousness, wow, talent, beauty, form, fame, creativity, rest, desire, anger, ignorance, delusion, unproven, wide, doubt, evil, and apparent attachment. This layer is surrounded by synthetic electromagnetism. The layer of emotion consists of 84 illusory purpose, also known as emotion. The layer of four element body consists of earth, nutrition, water, air, and fire, warmth, and layer of is surrounded by yin-yang electromagnetism. The human structure also contains with three forms of virtues, merit, blessing, and sin, and total karma. The karma, knowledge karma, connection karma, and rebirth karma. According to the karma network's inner structure, a person's inner
manifest
being
outwardly as the body.
include the mind, nature, and emotion, which manifest outwards as the body. We often refer to this as nature and emotion and body. Understanding oneself require understanding of the mind, heart, nature, emotion, and the body fully. When we understand the inner being, we contently enjoy everyone is like 6 feet enjoy and is initiated when a person finds the true nature within themselves. Definition of the 16 human nature can be shown in the structure. In the human structure layer of 16 human nature in the Sino-Vietnamese terminology, and the meaning closest to the human structure contains a reception, receiving and taking, thought, concept, remembering, imagining, plan and forgetting, actions, internal processing, and explore and tracking out, consciousness and understanding, knowledge world, talent, money worlds and talent ability, beauty from physical and body and appearance from fame, reputation, fame, eating and eating, sleep or rest, sleeping and rest, and great desire and desire or want, anger, ignorant, delusion, stupidity, arrogant, pride, arrogant, haughtiness, doubt, suspicions, doubt, and even cruelty and wickedness.
Fame's food, it is sleeping, resting,
incoherent attachment, substance, stubbornness, fixed view, provide amplitude and level of human nature, great desire and thought conceptions as a purpose of human nature, great desire and thought conception regarding world, talent, beauty, form, fame, fruit, eating, and sleep, rest, and determine the respect of level of anger, ignorant, delusion, arrogant, pride, doubt, evil, and incoherent attachment. This also determines that its reception, how it is processed, action, internal processing, and what is recognized consciously. Great desire fundamentally means wanting and wishing. Great desire is self-us not problematic and society was built on esteem with karma related to the perception that is that with erratic time and simple desire, people consistently desire something such as desiring the children human truths and desiring to understand themselves, even when the without possessing the natural and exemplified by the desiring to serve or sentence being, the desire against people to Buddhism, enlightenment. Thought concept is expressed in mentioning present, remembrance, past, and forecasting planning future. A person who no longer has great desire and thought conception, mean they have no desire and wishes for the present or future, and remember nothing of the past is no longer considered a human. Therefore, the desire and thought concepts are the focal points of the human life. With desire and thought concept relating to our talent, we manifest into two ways: money growth, desiring to earn money and planning future action to earn money, talents, ability, desiring to learn various things in acquired talent, with desire and thought concept regarding beauty, form, use, and physical bodies and appearance form. Physical body focus and emphasizing self-care, a person focus on the physical body, pay close attention to themselves and avoiding anything harmful, exercise, eating, and sleeping properly. They are meticulous about the appearance, looking tidy and elegant when put and go and out, appearing and full focus, directing and putting together surrounding environment. A person focused on Saturn cannot be tolerant a dirty house. They demand appropriate contact with a sincere about those around them, precious and they are distinguished by the crooked meaning in language. They insist on a clear, accurate speech and correct grammar. In work, they determine neither enough. With desire and some concept regarding a fame, this is desire to be famous or conversely, the desire to be not to be famous. Orientations of the one nature, dependence on time and nature, the desire and the concept regarding fruit eating. This is include the desire to eat delicious fruit. For some, they are eat as a matter. They have no tension regarding the true nature remaining, but the addition of time to determine our behavior toward eating with desire and self-conception regarding sleep at rest. Some people cannot sleep while others sleep excessively at one time. It's combined with nature, they might require beautiful place to sleep. With desire and self-conceptions regarding aspect, wealth, and thinness, the outer layer of the human structure, in a specific direction, determining what is received reception, how it is processed, action, internal processing, and what will recognize consciousness, conceptual drive research, and cultivating the human intention is lead a present thousands of miles away. And being able to inspire others in society is to allow to express with desire and thought concept. If we want to guide our children toward a comprehensive ranges framework, make them desire of likewise. Otherwise, they grow driven toward negative evaluation. If one cannot guide our children with desire and thought concept toward the life present, we will let toward that rise and refuse of human nature, because the structure of human nature is in case of James and electromagnetism, but nurture fluctuate, rise and fall, meaning they have an amplitude of oscillation, the level and degree of nature, greed and desire, anger, ignorance, illusion, organ, pride, doubt, evil, and incoherent attachment range from low to high, and from negative to positive. With desire and low negative degree is greater when characterized by desiring only for oneself, and the high positive degree is generosity characterized by desiring for others. For instance, desiring money only for oneself is just as with the happiness
also not
materializing in
beneficial.
moral
Others
atmosphere.
once should be
Generosity with
based on the
desire
four
is
drivers
simply
of
the
existence:
virus as oscillates from the
individual,
negative
family,
and positive
organization, and
desiring for the
society,
oneself
desiring
is
all
negative
four
desire, greediness
simultaneously.
and
After
desiring
the
for others
negative degree of
property,
sun is
desire
wrath, anger, the
generosity.
positive
Excessive
degree is
generosity
the
is also not
satisfaction.
beneficial.
Ignorance,
If one
delusion,
desire
the
should be
negative
based
degree
on
of
the
sin
core
is
driver of
delusion. The
existence,
high
individual,
positive degree
family,
is clarity.
organization, and
Clarity is
society
the
arising for
arrogant pride. The
simultaneously.
negative degree of
An
mind
equal low
is
negative degree
inferiority. The
is
high
gross
positive
anger,
degree
and
is
high positive degree
superiority.
is satisfaction.
Self-confidence
Acknowledging
and in the
relation, the
middle.
low negative
Doubt in
degree
the low
is
negative degree
delusion,
of
and
me
the
is
high
a
positive degree
suspicion.
is
The high
clarity,
positive degree
wisdom.
is a
Acknowledged
trustworthiness,
by the low
reliance.
negative
Plus
degree
is in
is
the middle.
inferiority,
Right
and
at
the high
times
positive
as
degree is
trustworthiness. Equal the
superiority.
low negative degree of
Self-confidence,
art
then, and
is
the
middle.
material down
The
low
high
negative
positive
degree
degree
is
is
meek,
kindness,
disruptions, and
benevolence.
the high
The
positive
human
degree
nature
is
regarding others
trustworthy. The
oscillates between
lion
kindness
trust
and
is in the
cruelty.
middle, as not as high as
Adherence, attachment, the low
trustworthy, and
negative degree of me
evil
is
is no
subordinates.
negative degree
Next
art
view,
is
the high
cruelty, and
positive
the high
degree is
positive degree
acceptance.
is kindness
When
and
this nature
benevolence.
and this
The
view
human nature
interact with
regarding art
gravity, mental
oscillates
levels
from
and levels of human
kindness
nature.
to cruelty.
However, all
Beyond adjustment, the low
originate
negative
from great
degree
desire
is
and
stubborn
self-conception.
fixed
Great
view.
desire and
The highly
self-conception
positive
are
degree
the
is
focal
exception.
points that
When there's
initiate the
nature
prevailing
conflict
natures.
is enters
Anger,
and they
ignorance,
create the
delusion,
emotional
arrogant pride,
levels
doubt,
and never
ego,
a
and
human nature.
adherence,
However,
attachment in a
all
specific
always
direction.
formed with
Great
desire and thought concept with
perception are
desire and thought
satisfied
concept are focal
when
points of that
nature
initiate
moves
the
toward the
remaining nature
positive
and
down
anger,
direction.
ignore,
Neither not
delusion
satisfied
are
or cannot be
proven
stopped.
right,
They
doubt,
are pushed
error, and
toward the
coherent
negative
attachment to a
direction.
spiritual relationship. If we
Desire
direct
and
self-conception as
regarding
such
wealth,
divine,
talent, beauty,
all
form,
living
fame, food,
natures
eating,
are
and
pushed
sleep,
toward
rest,
a
determine
positive and
perception, action,
perfection,
internal
and we are
processing,
not
and
satisfied.
consciousness.
We
For
stop,
example,
they
if
are
you
put
desire of
toward
land,
an
health, and
attitude and
physical
reckon
body, reading a
resist from the
meaningful book will
conception
open the
regarding food,
consciousness.
wealth, talent,
The
beauty, form,
perception will
fame, for
integrate the
eating and
knowledge,
sleep,
leading
rest,
to a
and
deeper
determine
understanding of
reception,
health.
action,
Great
and turn
desire and
processing and
conception
consciousness.
facilitate a
For
good
example, with the
absorption of
development
knowledge.
healthy physical
Without
body,
them, absorption
reading
is
through
poor. Action,
medical
internal
books and
processing is the
open the
output.
consciousness and
The
reception
nature
will
have an
integrate
ambiguity,
the knowledge
oscillation.
leading to the deep
Fundamentally, wealth,
understanding
talent,
the mind
beauty,
with
form, fame,
desire
food,
and
eating, sleep, rest,
self-conception, facilitate
perception,
growth
co-conception,
absorption of
action,
knowledge
internal
without the
processing, consciousness
absorption
do
is
not
poor action
possess
and turn
negative or
processing is
positive
output. The
electromagnetism.
nature of
It
head
is the
amplitude oscillation,
addition to great
fundamental
desire
wealth,
and
talent, beauty, form,
turns the
fit,
yin
for
yang
eating, sleep, rest,
electromagnetism
and reception,
initiated
such
anger,
conception,
ignorance,
action,
delusion,
internal
arrogant
processing,
pride, doubt,
consciousness,
evil,
internal
and
processes,
adherence,
negative and
attachment in a
positive,
certain direction.
electromagnetism,
Observation is a society
electromagnetism,
shows
action
that
of the rider,
those lower
condition in
tier
the lingam,
laborer often push
electromagnetism,
wealth,
initiating
talent, beauty,
anger,
form,
ignorant
fame,
delusion,
food, eating, sleep,
Haprogen,
rest
bright,
toward
doubt,
the
errors,
negative
and
direction
coherent
because
attachment
they have
is a
desire and
certain
not
watching
met.
on the
Such
basis of
people
digestion and
push
most lower
towards
tier
the
labor,
positive direction.
first world
Intellectual
beauty
and those
form,
that
fame
perception,
for eating and sleep
conception,
rest and toward the negative
conception,
resistance
action,
from
internal
their
processing, and
desire. Now
consciousness toward the
successful
inner
people
direction.
push toward a
The
positive
predominant
direction,
nature layer
intellectual and
determines the
this
essence,
research
social
indicates toward
standing.
perception, thought, perception, action, and
What
turning
is the inner
possession.
being?
Also
The
note
human
toward
soul, the body of
interrogation and
potential
predominant nature
factor. The
layer
potential
determines
factors
a
within a
person's
person
social
are
standing.
material factors, including
What
heart,
is the
mind,
inner
nature, and
being? In the
emotion.
human structure, the
Heart is
body
the
is a
common
tangible
terminology,
physical
constitutes
factor
the
and
inner
the
being. The inner
intangible
being
factor
consists of
within a
heart,
person,
mind, nature,
not
and
material
emotion. It
factor,
includes the
including the
natural
heart, mind,
natures of
nature, and
human beings,
emotion
the human
according to
nature,
the
and the layer of
contra
emotion.
terminology,
Also in the inner being,
constitute the
when a
inner
message
being. The
is
inner being
transmitted to us,
consists
is
of heart,
received
mind,
from the
nature,
human body.
emotion,
With
include
the
the
five
true nature
senses,
within
eyes,
oneself.
nose,
The
mouth,
sixth
ears,
human
spirit,
nature in the
and those
layer
in the
of
layer of
emotion,
emotion, the layer of
factoring the
nature,
inner being.
and
When the
finally
message
reaches the
transmitted
heart
through us
mind.
is
First
passed
stage
through
of
the
the inner
human
being,
body via
when
the five
receiving a
senses,
message,
eye, nose,
when the
mouth,
message
and feeling.
touches the
They
layer
go
of
to the
emotion,
layer of
we are using
emotion and the
emotion
layer
to
of nature,
interact.
and
When the
finally
message
reaches the
touches the
high mind.
nature of
Receive
nature, we
the
are using
inner
nature
being
to
one
analyze or
receiving
distinguish.
knowledge. When the
When the
message
message
touches the
touches
layer
the
of
heart mind,
emotion,
we are
we
using
are
the heart
using
mind to
immersion
receive and
through
accept.
interest when the message touches the layer of nature. We are using nature to analyze and distinguish. When the message touches the heart mind, we are using the heart mind to receive, accept, and live. This three spiritual states using the heart mind to receive using the nature, analyze, analyze and
If someone
distinguish
praises the
the
beauty and
emotion
you feel
to
pleased
interact
and
determine
happy, you
what
are
is
using emotion to
mattering
interact.
the inner
Instead of
being.
using nature to analyze and distinguish,
Emotion to
if
interact
someone
is
praises the
someone
beauty
praises our
and ask
beauty and
where
you
this
feel
has been
pleased and
fascinating,
happy and
you
you're
are using
using
nature to
emotion to
analyze
interact.
and
And
distinguish
for
why we
example,
are
using nature and analyze distinguish as someone praises your beauty
example,
and you
using the
ask,
heart
well,
mind to
is this
receive.
my
If someone
skin and
praises your
vitality?
beauty
You're
and you
using
simply
nature to
acknowledge that
analyze
they
and
said that you are
distinguish what
beautiful,
they are
and there
complementing
without
you.
any further
Expect
thought or
using the
emotional
heart mind to
embarrassing,
receive if
you are
someone
using the
praises a
whole mind to
beauty and you
receive.
simply
The concept of
acknowledge that
mastering
they
inner being
says they are
in the
beautiful
being
stop thinking without the further
initiating
thought or
proactively
emotion
taking
arising with your using
responsibility.
the heart mind to
Mastering the
receive.
inner
The
being is
concept of mastering
proactively
the inner being
choosing and taking
means taking
responsibility for the
a
choices of
proactive
the
and
inner being
taking
to master
responsibility.
external
Masking the
circumstances.
inner belief
In life,
is
people need to
actively
proactively and
choosing and
flexibly
taking
choose
responsibility for the
all three
choice
states,
within
using the
inner
heart mind to
being to
receive,
master
using the
external
nature to analyze
circumstances.
and
Therefore,
distinguish,
people
and
need
using
to
emotion to
proactive
interact
and
to shift the different
flexibly
subjects as
choose the three states
circumstances.
using the
It
heart
is
mind to receive, using the
inappropriate
nature
to
to analyze
only
and
one
distinguish,
state.
and
For
using
instance, if a
emotion to
passenger
interact to
knowing using the
suitable
heart mind
different
to
action
receive
and
without any
circumstances.
action
It is
is unsuitable.
inappropriate to only
Similarly, if a
and
loved
used to
one
omit.
in one
For instance,
compliments you,
it is a
only
statement
receiving
of
the
how
message
merely
without any
using the heart
reaction
mind
can strain
to
the
receive
relationship.
without any action is
In work or
unsuitable.
study, only
Similarly, if
using the
the
heart
Lord
mind to receive without
compliments you
analyzing or
only receiving a
distinguishing what
message without
will not bring
reaction and
progress.
strain the
If a,
relationship. Is it
if a
work and
study
study
of
is knowing the heart mind to
criticism
receive
comes
without
and
analyze and
one
distinguish
only
right or
uses
wrong,
emotion
not
to
being
interact,
process
easily
adverses
lead to
and
negative
criticism
feeling.
come to one only emotion to interact. Is this to lead to negative feeling? The emptiness, true nature,
inner being,
the
the state
state of inner being
that's
is
nature of
its
inner
nature is achieved
being.
and still the true nature within ourselves receive message without the nature embodied layer of using the thinking is the matching intention to hear is the intention to take and adjustment layers of true natures of emotion perceived message is the test of presenting the layers of nature emotion circulate through mass and sunlight through perception is hinders when hearing is adjustment the layer nature and emotion is no longer the true hearing simul seeing and attacks the layers nature and emotion is no longer true seeing. True seeing and true hearing is meant of message arrive and intensities only knows that the true seeing without human nature and emotion layer is applied attending true hearing and true seeing the state of the continuous true nature in a being. For example, someone is crazy whereas if we rest register the sound without initial emotion to analyze this true hearing and adjust the emptiness to nature in being and the heart mind is distant attached to the nature and emotion. The emptiness of inner breathing, even on the apathy, the apathic person use their thought perception to focus around hearing without truly hearing and seeing without truly seeing. They make themselves reflect on surrounding and emptiness true nature of inner being was use the true nature and thus the short concept, the nature stop and making knowing what happening. The knowing is exists in street concept arise using the true nature to receive and message when the message transmitted a person here and only hearing, seeing or receiving, initiating nothing. Exists out of true nature using only true nature receiving the message they are achieved in the emptiness nature of the inner being. The emptiness true nature of inner beings is formless and intangible. We can only to describe the ultimate receive. We cannot to understood as a state of one knowing and we hold coded is on way. Emptiness nature achieved with mind the environments are separated using the true nature to receive and the message is to be enjoy enlightened. Appreciation of emptiness true nature of inner being when the problem arises, initiating the emptiness true nature because the problem is issued in the intensely enjoy when people cling to the layer of emotion in mind is the initiating the emptiness through nature better using. Otherwise, attachment leads to anger and ignorant delusion. This style of help people deal with problem more clearly and understood the emptiness nature applied the Buddhism methods one would then let people stop, cease, and end to separate the mind from the environment. Total karma. The total karma is a sum total of all that action for the colors lifetime. In other words, total karma is calculation what we have been seen, said, and known across those colors lifetime stored in the subconscious and subconscious potential consciousness. Total karma is a total knowledge karma, connection karma, and results karma. Knowledge karma, total knowledge, understanding, and awareness accumulated through reality, saying, and knowing across colors lifetime. Connection karma is total relationship between people across colors lifetime. This determine the relationship and encounter in their life from the mid-wake family we are born into and we marry family adheres and converts. Research karma is total result achievements, people and experience across colors lifetime. It includes achievements such as number of houses, amounts of money, and career success, etc. Humans are born in the existence to karma, which explain why is born into a specific family and total karma is follow for us. Colors lifetime what we have seen said and knows in the past of shot through the layer of nature immersion from knowledge condition research karma stored in the subconscious with the human structure. Extend the knowledge of short using the learn and store in their minds and store the thing with best appearance witness. For example, resort karma, processing our how past and dream jobs and wisdom we have processed and assumed to total karma. There is a small existing karma giving result to the spiritual karma expressed on the body such as more bismuth and universe as person as belong to the result karma. Total karma may exist and dictates when and what will happen and whom will miss those total karma is what we have cultivate cross lifetime, a countless lifetime. Therefore, we should receive and accept everything that happened in life. The result complementing understanding total karma is not about the resignation and about understanding its open principle that depend active knowledge, connection, and result karma in a way that benefits requires understanding how electromagnetic vibrations are in the inner perception is internal energy vibration frequency. The energy vibration state of inner being always lives between negative positive and balance, and this correspond low, high, and super high energy vibration frequency. Reciprocity in the quantum determine the electromagnetic vibration state of inner being. The electromagnetic vibration state of the inner being with any vibration frequencies and energy vibration frequency determine our view of human life, worldview, and cosmic view. For example, when inner awareness regarding how much energy is positive, the electromagnetic vibration state of the inner being when thinking of one's role is learning and judgeful. This is process vibrations that emit the high energy vibration frequency leads to a harmonious. Similarly, applied health, medicine, and being follow as frequencies research positive hearing, saying and knowing, and a super high vibration frequencies mean balance electro vibrations. And when we hear only hearing and see only hearing, preference of virtues, the strength of virtues merit and block is merit blessing and sin. The merit block is reside within self of the true nature and blessing sin of present within the cell of the human nature. Since also is the block of negative electromagnetism accumulated causing by suffering from another. The present of negative electromagnetism and often lead to undesirable things alive, for example, of thinking about marriage caused by discomfort and unhappiness is indeed indicates the right accumulation and negative electromagnetism of the earth state of life. Blessing also is a long opposite electromagnetism and accumulation by bringing joy, happiness to others, and present the positive electromagnetism lead to desired outcome in the life in which more profoundly is when people realize through that joy. Marriage also was a block of electromagnetism of light accumulated by elevating level inner awareness or raising wisdom intellectually level 3. In other words, have other relation true nature within themselves, and from the Buddhism the person marries when have achieved enlightenment and liberation. So as a blessing is like a mountain, the money that can be earned at a single match. Quicker that a mixing presented complementing our resentment is blame is the pace of following the positive electromagnetism because the nature in the electromagnetism a woman's blessing is released through the complaining because of female body inherently carrying the higher negative electromagnetism. Men lose blessing quickly through the complaining because the male body carries higher positive electromagnetism and then transcend into skin quickly. The blessing of Logan Bright, the man lose blessing is released through the acroban rise. High attention positive electromagnetism. Woman is so quickly lose blessing as the enter arrogance and giving less can do everything within themselves. Anger and delusion show miscondition the vehicle of Lord and blessing varies according to the threshold. Factor and affecting marriage. A reason and adjustment simply has illuminates the lamp of the inner state. A person's inner state is someone who has appreciation and gratitude. Appreciation is an emotion layer. Tolerance and forgiveness is in the true nature, and peace and joy in the karma layer. A person with an inner state remaining the balance and positive orientation of the electromagnetic vibration state of being activate the total capacities in the subconscious towards positive outcome. Peace and joy activates the knowledge karma. Tolerance and forgiveness activates the connections and karma, and appreciation and gratitude is appreciated activates the result karma.
Appreciations and gratitude.
Okay. Dạ rồi. Ok, chào cô Paula.
Nhớ cả nhà vô ngồi nghe thôi chứ không có việc gì.
Rồi, mình được 58 phút
tiếp
rồi.
không cô? Có tiếp không cô?
Dạ. Chắc là tiếp một bài nữa đi. Tiếp bài này nữa nha cô.
Dạ.
Tiếp bài nữa nha cô Trinh.
Dạ. Em không có đọc nha.
Dạ.
Em chỉ mở thôi. Dạ. Bắt đầu thôi cả nhà.
Tiếp bài này cho nó xong nghe cô Trinh.
Dạ.
Dạ rồi.
Bắt đầu luôn hả cô anh?
Dạ, bắt đầu luôn đi cô.
Dạ. Em để tiếp luôn đó.
Dạ. Lesson 3, the triangle of realities. The triangle of reality is an extremely precious knowledge. Through this knowledge, we can materialize the non-material, informative, energy, and material anything. Even abstract conception invisible to the human's eye, we can become tangible, allowing people to perceive and touch them. At the same time, the triangle of reality helps us know how to receive and transfer reality simple. A person who knows the triangle of reality no longer go to school, they go to receive reality. If they have material, to reinforce information and energy. If they have energy, they reinforce information and material. So what is application method of triangle of reality? Let's try them. One, introduction to the triangle of reality. Anyone among us, no matter where we live in that world, is influenced by the three perspectives of wills: the moral perspective, the religious belief perspective, and the scientific perspective. perspective, whichever perspective of a person leans towards more healthily, this mindset will form according to that view. However, regardless to the perspective, we all greatly respect the formula energy, information, and material. These are true of many laws governing human life, the laws of core condition and the laws of core and cause and effects. If we show a good course meet favorable condition, we will reach the desired outcome. And what is the core here, and how do we solve a good core? In this section, we will explore the determining cause of human life according to the moral perspective through the knowledge of the triangle of reality. This helps us to answer the question, according to the moral perspective, what creates the cause of our life? Universe, structure, information, energy, and material. Everything exists as its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What information it contains when someone determines that source of energy? We draw a triangle of three corners: information, energy, and material. Its entity in this world containing its own source of energy. It has its own internal information structure and has its own material manifestation. For example, gold and this have different material manifestation. If you look at them and set the different, the people measure their energy, and the energy contains in gold is different from the energy contains in this. Studying further, we found that the internal information structure of gold is also different from the internal information structure of lead. Similarly, the humans material manifestation of a physical person is completely different from the material manifestation of pure person. This includes that energy contains with a physical person is completely different from energy pure person. It is because it contains different information inside. Therefore, what information a person contains inside will determine the source of energy and will determine the material manifestation. Can imagine in that way, it contains the content information by energy and energy represent material. Everything is inside has its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What does it mean when we see a person manifesting something outwardly? We see a person manifesting something outwardly is proof that they contain a certain source of energy and a certain information inside for them and manifest in that way. For example, when we observe an angry person, we see that their facial expressions and internal behavior were very different from those of a person. Analyzing it proved the angry person energy manifestation is different from the peaceful person energy manifestation, and which proves the internal information could contain different can material transform in one to another. With the consider external manifestation, material is the outcome, and with internal information is the core, and it's the source energy, the condition. The internal core manifests information, and external energy is information conditional when energy and now energy depending on premises and its consent will create the material, which is the outcome. But usually we just want to change the outcome. Scientific has proven that all material can be transformed into one another. They have successful transformed into gold through the drop ideas and hydros by changing the internal information structure. When the energy change, the external material change. People has transformed gold into food and consent are introduced and the greased artificial diamond and were constantly harder than natural diamond. We have achieved this and material when just the same mindset regarding changing people. Example, a healthy person and a sick person. To give rather healthy and sick person are both manifestations of the outcome, and we proceed the chain of entirely affirmation of the sick person to information of healthy person when the sick person, and we question show the healthy person energy in the material manifestation because the healthy person. If we change this exists information within ourselves, we change, and we can change our life. What information is contained within us is our physical informations. Is an application customer system of what system a called life is the operating system without its application cannot be installed, and what is information contains within it should right out to it what we know, what we learn, what we understand is the information contained within us. It's simple when anything is mentioned, how to know about it and how we believe in it and we understand it will represent the information within us. The information within us is what we know, what we believe, what we understand. In other words, what we know, what we believe, and we understand will determine our life reality. What this shall resemble. For instance, regarding marriage, what we believe, understand, and know determine the reality of our marriage. And if we examine our marriage reality from the moral perspective, it is simply understood that what we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, and how we understand marriage determine our marriage reality using the triangle of reality to interpret the person's reality. When we see someone has a reality about something, we immediately know how they know about and how they believe in it and how they understand it. We have need to study the fortune telling and Japanese the concept of the triangle of reality. But interacting and taking will let know about when we knowing the message in a certain way, how we believe it in a certain way, and how we understand marriage in a certain way, and we can predict the marriage reality. And if someone currently has undesirable marriage reality, is it because they know, believe, and we know, believe, and understand an unfavorable direction? What is a short concept? Based on the triangle of reality, we can interpret everything in life, what we know, what we believe, what we understand. In the language of the triangle of reality is called the short concept, and what the short concept we hold in our mind will determine our reality and shape it in that direction. This means when someone is mentioning the short concept we hold about, it's well representing our reality concerning that thing. A short concept must include all three concerns: know, believe, understanding, and to be called the short concept. The short concept of rapid and joy. Example: what a person short concept rapid and joy. In other words, how they know about peace and joy, how they believe in peace and joy, and how they understand peace and joy determine their reality of peace and joy. Anyone who contains any favorable short concept within them will have a good reality. Based on the person's reality, we can trace back as a follow. A person who clearly has an undesirable reality means they are holding unfavorable short concept. A person with a good reality or reality in the reserved direction mean they are holding favorable short concept. A short concept around finance, heart, and soul, how we do check our reality of something. It is very simple. Whoever wants to change their finance reality, we change what we know about finance, what we believe about finance, and what we understand of how finance. In other words, we change the short concept of finance and will change reality of finance. Whoever wants to change their health reality from this perspective, we only need to change what we know about health, what we believe about health, what we understand about health, and if the health reality is changed. In other words, we change our short concept about health and we change our health reality. In manner of online reality is determined by short concept. To change reality in the positive direction, we need to change the short concept toward the favorable direction. The concept of master, therefore, the first three concepts we need to master completely a scientific perspective with the knowledge or formula of the social life, religious belief perspectives of the knowledge of structure of human being, and the moral perspective of knowledge of triangle of reality. The frame of reference, the short concept of the source, this more progressional practice and primer source concept is called the frame of reference. When the short concept is the source, is a favorable description is called the standard frame of reference. From that standard frame of reference, we were able to develop favorable source concept. From there, we will change the information within toward the more positive and enlightenment direction. The course within it, according to the moral perspective, is the short concept within us, and the good course within it, according to the moral perspective, is a favorable short concept within it. Present frame of reference. The three frame of reference has brought explore and three measures. Frame of reference is that help us interpret the core of the matter. One was according to the formula of the rules of life. Thus, under one feel that based on that formula, we can interpret everything in life. The second is we cannot interest are using the formula of the rules of life. We use the structure of the human being to explain everything. This explains even why we treat our parents according to the structure of human being. It is based on our true karma that we are born into that family. For anyone who started to complain and blame their parent and reality lacks of the perspective of religious belief and the structure of human being. Before we have the total karma, we must born into that family, and being born into that family means must suffer oppressions or sorrow from the parents and reality. Only then does it align with the total karma. If your malice and virtues are close, you would have been brought into the different family, but because with the total karma in that way, you are compelled to be brought into that family. As soon as we understand this, we realize the truth immediately. It is start of an enlargement because human life. Immediately, we no longer plan family remember because we are to bear the total karma as it is, and but after gaining insight, we change the state of inner awareness and to change the total karma. Thus, according to perspective of triangle of reality, what we know, what we relate, and what we understand representing our reality, there is nothing the one runs changing what we know, what we relate, and what we understand to change the reality of our life. How to analyze the three frames of reference and analyze what must be done to change a person reality, to change a person's reality, to change the short concept, and changing electrophysics within the person is a cognitive merit and virtue to change the mental limits, and that's their life will change. If someone asks us for advice on changing their lives, what advice do you give? First, we must help them understand what creates the root of the life and what creates the root of a person's life. The first priority for interpretation is according to the scientific perspective. Is it created by the resonantal image flow or vaccine? With this image within the mice in our current life. The second thing is that in engineering vibration frequency determines our material level of person perceived in our life. The third thing is the concept we hold in the mind that determine our life reality. To change mental images must accumulate merits and virtues to change the energetic vibration frequency. Since simultaneously we must study to change the short concept in our minds and analyze which receiving and transferring reality with the triangle of reality. When we interact with someone who has a good reality around something we desire, it is that the person has a short concept about that thing, meaning they let us know how to know about the belief and how they understand it, then they will acquire the same reality as them. And what we did want to transfer reality to other, We only need to like to know about it, we believe in it, and how we understand each other. In other words, we transfer the thought concept to them, and then we have the same reality as her. Oh, my God.
Knows about it, house we believe in it, and the house understand is for them in others transfer so concept to them, and that will have a same reality as us.
Yeah, biết ơn. Hôm nay mình được 74 phút này nghe cô tốt trên.
Dạ dạ.
Dạ.
Dạ cô ghi với cô Hề.
Tí nữa cô ghi em 74 phút.
Dạ biết ơn cô ạ, biết ơn cả nhà.
Dạ.
Còn mấy phút nữa về đích xinh tươi.
Dạ em được bao nhiêu rồi cô Paula? Hình như là em là số giờ ít nhất cả lớp rồi. Như cả
Ở đâu
nhà
còn
về
nhiều
đích hết.
người khác còn ít hơn chứ. Còn ít hơn em mà.
Dạ đó hả? Đó mà em tưởng là dạ.
Không. Nhiều người khác còn ít hơn em.
Dạ dạ. Sáng mai rồi chắc em không tham gia cô vì sáng mai em nó đi thi SWOT 10.000 cái luôn.
Quá men tới 7 phải không?
Là cái năm bài này là hạn là tới ngày mấy cô Hề?
Ngày 17 nha em.
Dạ 17. Dạ dạ. 16 đi thi 17 đi không được nữa. Dạ dạ. 17 5 giờ cô có vô không cho em vô đọc à?
Có 5 giờ nha, 5 giờ vô nha.
Dạ dạ, em biết ơn cô.
Vô nội ra. Vô con. Còn đi ra là bữa nay mình đi học sớm, mình học lễ tổng kết nữa. Đi, lễ tổng kết thì vui lắm đó. Chị này muốn vui. Vừa gặp mì đó nha. Đây, còn đi rồi. Con có sáng có ăn bánh mì chả lụa thì lấy chả lụa ăn đi. Tôi còn bún riêu có để lại cục chả lụa qua bún riêu rồi hay quá trời bún riêu rồi sáng rồi vậy đi con. Giờ để mai đi ăn được không? Mời nhiều hấp con cái con về con mình thôi đi sớm đi đến banh mời mời đi con kêu nó chạy lo chạy vô nè ngồi bố coi nè dội lắm đó. Nay là cái ngày tổng kết của trường của nó đó, nó lên lớp 1 rồi
Ok.
lớn lắm rồi
Cô để con stop xem.